Mintzberg 5P for strategy, that is plan, ploy, pattern, position, and perspective. That we had discussed in the yesterday's session. Today we will move on to McKinsey's 7S model. What is that 7S model that we will be discussing? So McKinsey's 7S model, it's a framework for organizational effectiveness that focuses on seven internal factors that must be aligned. So it talks about, or it revolves around the internal factors. These seven internal factors, which you can see on screen, it talks about skill, system, strategy, staff, style, structure, and shared value. So these are the factors which are internal in nature. How these factors are responsible for making the organizational effective, that is what we are going to discuss. So these seven factors are included in a model which was proposed by McKinsey. That's the reason why it is called as 7S model. 7S because all these factors, they start from the word S. Now here in this slide, you can see that the 7S framework was introduced by Robert H. Waterman, Thomas Peters, and Julian Phillips in the structure is not organization. Business Horizons in 1980. In the slide, we can see that two colors are used. One is light green and the other one is light pink. Now, these two colors indicate that which are the hard S and which are the soft S. Hard S is very much related to what we know about hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are technical in nature, whereas soft skills are non technical in nature, that we are aware of. Now, these seven S, out of that, four are considered as soft, and the rest three are considered as hard S. Now, first we will discuss what these seven S mean. What is the actual meaning of these seven S and how these factors make an organizational effective. How these factors are to be implemented or executed in the organization, that is what we will be discussing. We will start with the first S, and that is structure. When we are studying the structure of the organization, for example, when the senior management is trying to study the structure of their organization, they need to understand that what structure do we need to execute a particular strategy. It is not that once a structure is prepared by the organization, that structure cannot be changed at all. At the same time, structure is not such a factor which can be changed continuously or at any moment of time. Frequent changes is not possible in structure. So when the organization is coming up with a new strategy, first they need to study what is the structure of the organization. In this particular structure, is it feasible for the organization to implement this strategy, or that structure needs some changes? If the structure needs some changes, the organization can implement those changes in the structure of the organization. At the same time, we have just discussed that every now and then we cannot make changes in the structure. Structure means, in simple words, it is also called as hierarchy of the organization. Who will be the person who will be given the responsibility to implement the strategy? Who will be the person who will be observing, monitoring whether the strategy is properly moving or not? Who will be the person who will be measuring the result after the implementation of the proper strategy? All these things are to be taken into consideration under structure by the top level management, and then they should decide whether existing structure is okay of the organization, or whether the existing structure needs some changes. Accordingly, those changes can be implemented, or if the higher authorities feels that no such changes are required, with this particular structure only, we can implement the strategy as it is. Structure can be kept by the organization and the strategy can be implemented. Next one is the system. Now, when we are discussing about system, again we need to find out what what business system do we need to use or invent to execute the strategy. Again, so these are some of the questions which you can see on the slide. Whenever any of the S is to be implemented by the organization, before actually implementing that S, the organization has to find the answer of the question written against that particular S. So when we are talking about system, the organization should find an answer to the question, what business system do we need? Which type of business system do we need to use or invent, execute? We need to use or invent to execute the strategy. Whether our existing business system is okay for the implementation of strategy, or this particular business system is to be replaced by another business system which will be better for the implementation of this new strategy. Next is style. Next is the third S is related to style. Now the third S talks about what? It talks about what leadership style and cultural qualities will help us to achieve the strategic objective. Now, again, for understanding the style of working of an organization, the higher authorities have to answer the question that what leadership style and culture qualities will help us to achieve strategic objective. Now, here, two different concepts are being used. One is leadership, the other one is culture. Now, both are different and both play a very significant role in making an organization effective. Now, leadership, various type of leaderships are there. Various types of leaderships are there. One type, when very common type can be, we can say that there is authoritative type of leadership. Then there is democratic type of leadership. Then there is free reign type of leadership. Then there is charismatic leadership. Then there is collegial type of leadership. Then there is system leadership. So there are various types of leadership. In that particular organization, when we are talking about that which is our style, first we need to understand that which is our style, whether we are following authoritative style. That means that whatever strategy is to be prepared, it will be prepared at the highest level. No suggestions, no views from the employees or lower level employees or middle level employees will be asked or will be taken into consideration while drafting a strategy at uh, for the organization. That is authoritative. If the organization is implementing democratic style of leadership, what they will be doing is, of course, strategy is to be made at the highest level. There is no question about it. It cannot be made at the lowest level. It has to be made at the highest level. But in democratic style, what happens is that why we need new strategy. This question is asked to the middle level employees as well as to the lower level employees. And it is shared with the employee that if you have any views on this particular question, any suggestion related to what type of new strategy we can implement for making our organization effective, you can share your ideas, views, thoughts, and um, your suggestions. And the top management is open to accept those suggestions. Of course, decision will be taken by the top management. Top management will be checking all the views, all the thoughts, all the suggestions. And any, if they like any suggestion, they will accept that suggestion. If they don't like any suggestion, they will reject all the suggestion and they will come up with the strategy. But when they are drafting a strategy, they are checking the views or the thoughts or the suggestions given by the employees also. Whereas in authoritative, it is done single handedly by the top authority. Here, decision is taken by the top authority, but before taking decision, the senior authority is paying attention towards the views or suggestions or thoughts of the employees related to that particular strategy or that particular issue. That is the democratic style of leadership. Now, here the organization has to understand that what type of strategy we need to implement, and for implementing that strategy, which type of leadership is the organization should be practicing, whether democratic, whether uh, authoritative, whether free reign, whether collegial, whether system, whether charismatic. This is to be decided by the organization. Various, there are more than 10 leadership styles. So organization has to check that which leadership style we can implement in the organization for executing a particular strategy. For example, if the deadlines are very close, the organization has to complete a very urgent order. Deadlines are very near. With the help of earlier strategy, the organization has seen that it is not possible with the help of earlier strategy or existing strategy to complete the project within the deadline. So organization feels that we should shift to some other leadership style. Now, in such situation, when the deadlines are very near and on a urgent basis, a particular project is to be completed, and when the organization is aware that leader is very effective, leader is very capable, at that particular time to take quick decisions, to implement quick strategies, authoritative style the organization can adopt. So the organization has to check everything, that if deadlines are there, urgency is there, time required for completion of a particular project is very short, and it is not possible for the organization to complete that project with the existing strategy. What they can do is they can give full authority to the manager, project manager, who is responsible for completion of that particular project. Now, no need to ask any question, any views, any suggestion, any thought from any of the employees. The organization believes that the project manager has handled this type of project, many these type of projects. So he is the best person who can come up with a new strategy, execute that strategy without waiting for suggestions, views from the employee. So complete authority is given to this project manager so that within the short deadline, the project can be successfully completed by the organization. So in such situation, democratic style may not work, authoritative may work. When the organization is going for expansion, diversification, it is essential for the organization to see to it that if the existing employees are having any doubt, any query related to the strategy which will be implemented for expansion of the organization, or the strategy which will be implemented by the organization for diversification, all the queries, all the questions shall be solved by the project manager or by the higher authorities of the organization. Because if doubt is there in the mind of the employee, if there are queries which are unresolved, ultimately the performance or efficiency of the employees are going to be adversely affected. So in such situation, authoritative leadership may not work, because authoritative leadership means that complete power is given to one person, and the person is given complete blanket authority is given, that if someone is asking question, you can bluntly reject that question. I'm not there to answer your questions. You are supposed to just obey my orders. This type of power, blanket power, is given to that particular person, the senior authority. So that situation, but now the situation is different. Now, what the situation is? The situation is that the company is going for diversification or expansion, or company is going to acquire another company. At that particular time, it should be seen that if there are any doubts in the mind of employee, it is to be settled first. Because with doubts, the organization cannot perform well. The employees cannot perform well. So in that case, democratic style will work, but not authoritative. So that is how when the organization is implementing this 7S framework, they have to understand or they have to answer all these questions. Am I audible? Is my voice clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Then the next in this style S, the next term which is used is culture of the organization. What is the culture of the organization? What is the present culture? Do we need any changes in this existing culture? That is to be studied by the organization, top management of the organization. And if any changes are required, accordingly, the changes should be implemented. Again, if the organization is going for acquisition, for example, it's an Indian company. Now, Indian company is going for acquisition of a foreign company. Indian IT company is there. It's a very, say, a large company. As enough funds are there, they want to acquire a foreign IT firm because they want to expand their business in the foreign country also, in that particular country also. Now, when this type of activities are done, acquisition type of, at that particular time, this culture plays a very vital role because our culture can be different, Indian culture is different, and the foreign culture is different. So we need to understand what is the difference between Indian and foreign culture, how we can align both the cultures for making our organization effective. That is again to be studied by the organization. So culture doesn't mean, or it is not restricted only to the literal meaning of culture, but culture also includes that how much freedom, how much autonomy is given to the employee to grow in the organization. Because most productive employees, good employees, high potential employees, they are going to be they are going to stay in a organization where they feel that the culture is open, the culture is good, they are having scope for growth, they are having um, um, scope for development or promotion. Now this way the organization has to check that whether our existing culture is okay or it needs any changes. If changes are required, then the changes are to be made and then the strategy is to be implemented. A strategy related to acquisition, strategy related to diversification, expansion, or any other strategy. So that was related to style. Now the next is talks about staff. When we say staff, the question is how should we help our managers in their growth? Nowadays, again, this S plays a very important role because of competition. Every company is trying to attract the best possible talent. Every company, whether it's an Indian company, American company, Chinese company, you take example, any company. And the recent example, last week, when the American president came up with increase or heavy increase in the fees of H1B visa. Earlier, the fees were very small, and to stop Indians getting attracted to work in American companies, this American government increased the fees to a very higher level. Now H1B visa fees has been increased to 88 lakhs. That we all are aware. Last week's news. So one country, and what is H1B visa? Again, everyone is aware of that this type of visa is being issued by the American government to attract the talent from other countries. So top talent. So if, for example, if a person is very good in coding, and American company wants that particular worker to employee to work in their company, what they will be doing? They used to give visa to this particular person. So this visa is given or was given to the talented people, so that these talented people who are the uh, citizens of various countries, it can be India, it can be any other country, they were attracted by the American company. So earlier the fees was less, now they have increased it to a very high level. Now it costs 88 lakhs. So 88 lakhs per year, it's a very huge amount. And why they have come up with this particular increase? Because they feel that Indians are taking the jobs of Americans. That is the explanation given by the American government. And to stop Indians, they have come up with this particular idea. And the moment America came up with increase in fees of H1B visa, we have seen that how China is now coming up, or immediately China came up with the easy rules for K visa. Now, K visa is again very much similar to the American H1B visa. The Chinese government has communicated that we will be issuing this K visa to all the talented people who are citizens of different countries. So it can be Indian, it can be American, it can be Australian, it can be a citizen who belongs to any of the country. Only thing we will be checking is we will be issuing this visa, we will be giving this visa to the talented people, very talented people, so that that talent can be attracted to the Chinese companies, and the Chinese companies can grow more faster. As everyone has seen, the real reason for the growth of American companies is the contribution of people from other countries, the talent from other countries. It is not that American companies have grown or they have succeeded only because of the talent which is there in America only. But when we analyze the growth of companies, we will come to know that most of these companies are growing or have grown or are at the top of the world because of not only the contribution of Americans, because of more contribution from people or talented people, we will say, from outside America. And that's the reason why Many American companies are having foreign CEOs. So their chief executive officers, their chief operating officers, their chief financial officers, their chief strategy officers, most of them are not American. Most of them are from other countries, and majority are from India. That we all are aware. Who is the CEO of Google? We all are aware. Who is controlling Microsoft? We all are aware. Who are the top officials at Tesla? Who are the top officials of PepsiCo? All the American companies are there, but they are headed by people, or they are headed by non-American people. So right now, what has happened is they they have come up with this type of strategy. So when we are talking about staff, every company wants what? Every company wants the best employee. Whether that employee is from their own country or he or she is from another country, that doesn't matter to the company. What company needs in each and every company, whether it's an Indian company or any other company, whether it's a small company or multinational company, each and every company wants to attract the most talented people. None of the company is going to compromise related to the efficiency or talent of its employees when they are hiring the employee. They are ready to pay. Recently, there was a news that Google is trying to attract Indian talented person. I'm unable to recall the name. And the person was given offer of more than 1,000 crore, and it got extended to 3,000 crore. Why a American company wants to hire the services of a Indian by paying him 1,000 crore rupees or more than that? The reason is very simple, because they are aware that if we invest in talent, this is the this particular talent is going to make us more effective, more profitable. And this has been understood by the Chinese government also, Chinese people also, and that's the reason why they have immediately started making their rules more lenient related to the release or sanctioning of K visa. That is the importance of staff. Many American companies, they are still arguing with their government that if we stop hiring the foreign nationals, we cannot grow, or we will not be able to earn the profit which we are right now making. So they are continuously there is discussion, deliberations going on between the American government and the American companies, because most of the American companies, they are not ready, but because they are controlled by the American government, they cannot just go against the government. They are trying to convince about the benefits of hiring the services of talented people, non-American people. That is the importance of S. So when we are talking about staff, answer should be given to how should we help our managers in their growth. Now, one thing, it is very difficult to attract talent. Another difficult thing is that, okay, now you are able to attract talented people. Now, for example, three very talented people have joined your organization. So you are very lucky that these three talented people who are master in their field, who are very good in their field. So you are very happy, your company is very happy, company feels fortunate that they have hired these people, and these three people are making the company profitable. And again, they next year they will be making it more profitable, next to next year more profitable. So because they are very talented. So attracting talent is one thing, and more difficult than attracting talent is to retain that talent. How you can retain that talent? So you can retain the talent if you provide ample growth opportunities to that person to grow in the organization. Sundar Pichai joined a particular company, multinational company, Google, he has joined. He is their CEO. We all are aware of. Now, he has not joined as CEO of Google. He joined at a, say, middle level when he completed his graduation from IIT as management trainee. He joined at middle level, and then enough, looking at his talent, enough growth opportunity was provided to him. He was promoted to the next level, to the next, to the next, to the next, and then he was finally promoted to the level of CEO. When? So why he did not switch to another company? Because the Google found that he is a very talented employee. He is going to make our company profitable. So we should provide him ample growth opportunity so that he should never think of moving out from Google and joining some other company. And that's the reason why last year, when Google removed hundreds of employees by giving a reason that because of AI, because of automation, the number of employees who were working in Google, many employee services were not required. So they gave that reason that because of AI, because of automation, earlier for a particular process we required, say, 10 people. Now, because of automation, because of AI, we need only 5 people. So 5 people have become extra. So 5 people are to be removed, and they removed all. Hundreds of employees they removed last year. On the one hand, they said that we have to remove employee. Why? Because we are unable to provide employment to these excess employees. Why they have become excess? Because of AI and automation. At the same time, and they said the next reason they have given is that the competition is very tough, and our profit is getting affected because of excess employees. So they wanted more profit. So they thought that if we remove hundreds of employees, automatically we will save in terms of their bonus, in terms of their salary, in terms of their incentive, in terms of their training, development, all these things. That's the reason given by the Google. At the same time, they gave performance bonus to the CEO, and that bonus ranged from 800 to 1000 crore of rupees. Same company implementing two strategies. One strategy that we are getting very less profit. To increase our profit, we have to remove people. And the same company is paying one employee more than 800 crore rupees as performance bonus. The reason is very simple. The explanation given by the company was that the contribution of Mr. Sundar Pichai in making the company profitable is very high. And that's the reason we are sharing one small part from profit as performance bonus with him. So everything revolves around staff. And when we are talking about staff, we are also talking about talented staff. We are not talking about anyone who is not talented. Companies are, or they want to retain only talented people. A person who has not, who is not able to achieve the target, one chance was given. Next 3 months, again the person was given a target. Again he was not able to achieve the target. Again, final chance was given to the person that within 1 month you have to achieve the target. A target, revised target was given to the person. Again, he tried his best, but he could not achieve the target. Now, this type of employees are not required by any of the organizations, because each and every organization wants a person who is very talented, who always exceeds the target. That type of person organizations want to attract, that type of people organization wants to retain. And that is the importance of this S, which is called as staff. And the next one is, next S is skill. Now again, skill indicates what are the specific skills that will help us. What skill do we need to develop? Now again, what type of skills? Whether we need to work more upon soft skills, or whether we need to work more upon hard skills. Earlier, more weightage was given to hard skills, which were technical in nature. But because of the introduction of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all these type of new technology, now the focus has shifted from hard skills to soft skills. Last week, there was a study conducted, and the results of the study was that nowadays 85% weightage is given on soft skills, and 15% weightage is given to hard skills. So your technical skills now weighs 15%, and your soft skills now weighs 85%. And the explanation given by the experts who carried out this study in the multinational companies, the explanation given was that hard skills are getting replaced by robots, by machines, with the help of artificial intelligence, with the help of machine learning and other technology. But it is right now also. What will happen in future, that we are not sure. But right now, soft skill are difficult for the robots or for the machines to learn or implement in the organization. We all are aware that 5 years back, job was coder, a person who used to have the skills related to coding. he used to have a very high demand in the market, and the companies in the field of coding, they used to pay a very high salary to these coders. After 5 years, if we see where are those coders, or what is the present situation, or present say salary, or present market for these coders. Now this presently what has happened is that most of the market of coders has been overtaken by artificial intelligence, machine learning, machines, and other type of technology. So these hard skills are getting replaced. But when we talk about our soft skills can be problem solving skills, it can be communication skills, it can be empathy related skills, it can be understanding the problem of the fellow employee or subordinate type of skills. So all these skills are categorized under soft skills. So now the companies are giving more weightage to these skills. So any person who is very good in these soft skills, that person now is having high chances of growth in the organization, because the situation today is very intense, where we see stress, where we see anxiety because of competition, and that competition is intense, cutthroat competition. And for handling the employees, or for making the employees survive in this cutthroat competition, we need people who are expert in soft skills, who can talk to the employees, understand the employee. Because when we are dealing with human beings, each and every person may have different problem, or different reason for a particular problem. Now for example, 5 employees are coming late to work. All the 5 employees can have different problems. Machine may not understand those problems. But if a person is good in soft skills, a manager is good in soft skills, that manager can understand that problem very well. And he can come up with 5 different solutions for those 5 problems. Machine can give one general solution to be implemented with all the 5 people. That is the difference. Machine do not have that emotion. Machine cannot say act towards empathy. It cannot show empathy towards a person. Machine is not going to keep itself in the place of that particular person, particular employee, to understand uh, how painful, uh, from uh, a worst painful situation the employee is going through. Machine cannot understand. But if a manager is having empathetic skill, if one good employee, earlier he was one of the top performer, but recently this manager is observing that this particular employee, because of some or the other reason, this employee has become a average employee. So your best employee becoming your average employee is not a good sign for the organization. Because your top employee, you always feel that he should be the top contributor to profit for the organization. Now, machine, what the machine will be doing, what the robot will be doing, They will be just measuring the result. What is the standard output set by the company? If the person is not meeting that standard output, the person should be given warning. Warning 1, warning 2, warning 3. And still, if the person is unable to increase the output, the person should be shown the door. But when a manager is having empathetic skill, what the manager will do, instead of taking any harsh action against that very talented employee, he will call that employee. He will make that employee comfortable. He will try to talk to that employee. He will try to go to the root cause why the employee, why their best employee has become a average employee. What is the problem? He will try to go to root cause of that problem, and then he will try to give solution also to that problem. And that problem may not be related to work at all. The person may not be uh, having some family issues, and because of that family issues has his performance has come down. Now robot is not at all involved in solving the family issue, because that robot is not programmed in that manner. Human beings are, we are having emotions, we are having feelings, and that's the reason why the experts are now saying that if you want to grow in an organization, in your career as a manager, you have to have very strong, very good soft skills. And that is the importance of that S, which is called as skills. So, not only technical skills, but you should now give more focus. It doesn't mean that you should not have, say, the technical skills at all. But when you are giving weightage to technical skill and soft skill, you should give more weightage, more focus to soft skills as compared to technical skills. Next one is strategy. Now, when we are talking about strategy, we need to check what should we do to solve the specified business problem. The question related to strategy is to be solved by the top management. And whatever the answer comes in, that answer, on the basis of that answer, strategy can be changed, strategy can be replaced, or a new strategy can be introduced. For example, the company is manufacturing cars, but the sale of car has come down. For that, the company has to answer this question. What should we do to solve the specified business problem? Now, here, what the business problem is? Here, the business problem is that the company is unable to sell the car. Now, how the company can increase the sale of the car? At that particular time, the company has to again come up with new strategy. We all are aware that right now, the sale of entry level car sales are on decline. They are not very good. So companies are coming up with one or the other strategy. They are trying hard. And recently, the first day of Navratri, the recent figures are that Maruti was able to sell record number of cars. The same company was unable to sell entry level cars for so many months. They changed their strategy, and On the first day of Navratri, when the reports were published, when the figures were published, Maruti was able to sell record number of entry level cars in a single day. They came up with a new strategy. The new strategy was what? That they started giving more freebies, more concession, that it is better to sell off the car at lower profit than to keep the car standing in the warehouses. That will affect adversely to the profitability of the car company. So earlier they were having a particular profit margin. Now they have reduced that profit margin. Earlier they used to give fewer freebies. Now they are giving more freebies. So if you are having a problem, if you faces that your business is facing this particular problem, you have to come up with a strategy, that what type of strategy can be implemented by your organization which can overcome that particular business problem, that you need to check. So that is what the meaning of strategy is. And the last one is the shared value. Now shared value talks about which of your principle help us, why do we do what we do in the way we do. Now, when we talk about value, we need to check the values of the company. What are the core values of the company? All the companies do have their values. Tata's have their values, Reliance have their values, Amul is having their value, PepsiCo is having their values. So each and every company has their values. Now this value is to be inculcated among all the employees, and then we can say that it becomes shared value. Every one employee in the organization is sharing the same value. Now the value of Tata, we all are aware that last year, when most of the IT companies were removing their employees, of course now TCS is also removing the employees. But last year, when Mr. Ratan Tata was there, at that particular time, TCS didn't remove the employee. In fact, TCS had came up with a strategy that we are having excess employees, but and they wanted to remove those employees so that TCS can become more profitable, because those excess employees, because of various reasons, they were unable to provide employment to all the excess employees. So they finalized that these many employees are to be removed. When this news was communicated to Mr. Ratan Tata, he was of the opinion that our core, that removal of employee is against the core value of Tata Group of companies. So we should come up, he suggested to the company that you should come up with another strategy which will make the company profitable at the same time which will retain all the employees. That is the importance of value for the company. Every company has value. It is written on the website of the company, it is there on the notice board of the company. But every company doesn't live with the value. There are some companies which are living with the value, and that is what shared value is. So if your values are so high, you will see that number of people leaving Tata Group of companies are very less. Reason is very simple. Reason is because of the core values of the company. There are people who are working in the Tata Group of companies. When they are offered more than double salary, more than double salary, still they are not ready to leave their existing company and join the competitor firm. And the reason is shared value, that they are sharing the value of the company. That is the importance of value. Now, if the employees start sharing the value of the company, then the company definitely is to grow. Then the company, then these employees will make the company profitable. So that is related to the McKinsey's 7S framework, how this framework, if implemented in an organization, how this framework can help the organization to become more effective. That is what we have just discussed. So now we will stop, and in the next session, we will be coming up with the next topic, which is called as metrics organizational structure. So different type of organizational structure we will be discussing in the tomorrow's session. Thank you everyone for being present in today's session. Thank you.